We think the struggle is between us and other people, that we're waiting on other people to change, that we're waiting on them to act the way that we think they should, and in our time frame that we set out for them. But see, the struggle is not really between us and other people. It's between us and God. In His timing, in His methods, in the way that He does things for His own good pleasure, that's the struggle that we have, because it's not the way that we want it. A friend of mine told me this part of a psalm a couple years ago and asked me to memorize it, and I never did until it was all that I could hold on to. It's Psalm 62, verses, I think it's 5 through 8. It says, "My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from Him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense, I shall not be moved. And God is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in God. Trust in Him at all times, ye people. Pour out your hearts before Him. God is a refuge for us. Selah." Now that's a couple of long sentences there. It's not the normal way that I would speak. It's not the normal way that I would think. So the proof that I memorized it shows how much I had to say it, how much I had to pour over it, how much I had to internalize it and make it my own, seeing that this is what God has said my attitude needs to be. Waiting upon Him. Waiting upon Him to bring things to pass as He sees fit. Not the way that I want it, not in the time frame that I want it, not in the way that I want it. See, my soul is waiting on God. It's not waiting on you. It's not waiting on somebody else. It's not waiting for some opportunity that's down the road to come to pass. It's waiting on Him and trusting in Him and His good intentions for me. And that's hard. It's hard to trust people's good intentions, mostly because let's face it, at times we've been untrustworthy. Or we've had people that have broken our trust and betrayed our trust. And so it's so difficult now to trust other people and to give that trust that we have long since lost. And sometimes it's even harder to trust God because we don't see Him. If it's hard to trust people that we see every day, how much more so someone that we never physically see, that we only know of? It's very difficult. It's hard. Some days it's harder than others. But the way that you do that, the way that I've had to do it, the way that if anyone is going to do it, if it's going to come to pass, is that you have to trust in His word and what He has said. You have to hold on to those promises with everything that you got, knowing that whatever you see and whatever you experience, whether or not it lines up with what His word says, His word is still true. His promises are still sure. He is still faithful even when we are not. He is still good and has good intentions for us even when the rest of the world does not and continually lets us down. See, that's our reality as believers. That's who we are. That's who He is. Trustworthy, a rewarder, someone who is faithful, has loving kindness enduring forever. All of those things are true about God. Now, they're not true about us. They're not true about other people, but they're true about Him. And we have to remember that, because if we don't, we're going to go insane, banging our head against the solid brick wall of life, not getting what we want and not getting it when we want it. But God is still faithful. God is still true. God is still just, even when we are not and no one else is. And we can trust Him more than we can ever trust anybody else, more than we can trust ourselves.